Hello, I'm Sophia.
And hey, I'm Kristin, and we are
Under the Barbell.
Over the Bullshit.
And we're a podcast for women who are sick of being told to just eat less, move more, and what they really want is to get strong, take up space, feel confident, and age well.
That's what we're all about, empowering women to live for more than a before and after photo.
So, wherever you are, grab a coffee or a pre-workout and hit play, because your anti-diet culture BFFs have arrived.
Hey, hi, hello, you bubbers.
Bubbers. Happy 2026,
Happy
friends.
2026. Holy shit.
I know.
I can't believe it. I can't believe how fast the year has gone.
I agree.
Wild.
I agree.
Wild.
It's crazy. At 2025, I don't know. I think there was just so much happening in 2025 that it just felt like it was just, it moved so quick, you know? So
that's true. I'm pumped for this episode, though.
I am too.
I'm pretty stoked.
I am too. I'm excited. I got my shit. I have a bunch of things in front of me here that I'm going to use to show, and I'm excited. So actually my sister-in-law, Rachel, hi Rachel, she texted me yesterday and she was like, hey, have you shared your word for 2026 yet? And I was like, no, because there's going to be a podcast episode about this. And if I tell you now, you're not going to listen. So you need to listen. I'm excited.
Nice. And I have so recipes have been, we were just talking about this, recipes and food meals have been popping off on TikTok. If you're not following the TikTok, go follow that.
And if you're a new TikTok follower and you just found us, hey, like we're so thankful you're here.
Yeah, and let us know.
Yeah, tell us
on TikTok. Message us on TikTok and say, hey.
Comment on one of the posts or something like, hey, it's very cool. We love having y'all here. And, I mentioned, I think in the last episode, like we've got big plans to try to make this podcast a thing. So we're so thankful for literally every single one of you. And while you're here, you can go ahead and if you would leave a happy little 5-star review wherever it is that you're listening, that would be amazing. Share it with a friend would also be super amazing. All that stuff helps so much.
Yeah, spread the word for 2026. And speaking of recipes here, I wanted to share one that Kiana actually made up one recently, but I'm going to hold off on that until she kind of gets it a little bit better. But this one that I've been having on repeat for my lunches this week, it's similar to the hot honey bowls, like with the taco meat and things like that, if you've been seeing that. So it's similar to that, but it's ground beef, and you can use any protein probably. Ground beef, sweet potatoes, blueberries, and cottage cheese, and then I put Himalayan salt and Mike's hot honey. The bloobs are weird, I know.
Yeah, but
it works. It works.
Huh, okay. And look at you seasoning your food.
Yeah.
Y'all, I have to say, so when Sophia's wife listened to the last episode where she talked about her very bland tuna and black bean and cucumber concoction, whatever bowl, she texted her and said, love yourself enough to season your food. And I felt like that was the most amazing thing.
I forgot about that. Love yourself enough.
I didn't. I literally tell everybody, I'm like, oh my God, you need to hear what she said. Like, this was so funny.
That's hilarious.
I love it. Yeah.
And
okay.
Do you know what so do you eat cottage cheese? Yeah.
I do. Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had the brand Good Culture?
I have.
Okay. I cannot have any other brands I have because they're out of stock everywhere. They used to have them at our local grocery store, Hy-Vee. They used to have them at Pomegranate Market, and it would go fast. Like, it's popular, I think, but it's nowhere. And I don't know if they just stopped carrying it, but Good Culture cottage cheese is the best. If you see it, grab it, eat it. You will not go back to any other cottage cheese. And I'm just bummed about it because I've not been able to find it nowhere.
Is there like a spot on the shelf where it's empty?
No, and that's the thing too. I looked, and the tag isn't there anymore. Like nothing. So I don't know what's going on.
Sometimes I think sometimes they change the label or something, and there's like a delay, and they don't have it. But usually, there's always the spot on the shelf when that happens.
Right.
Oh, that'll be so sad. I'm cheap, so I've had it, but only like at Thai if it was on sale or something. I've gotten it, but I just get the store brand.
I'm sure it's so much better.
Like I'm so cheap, and I don't. I'm like, But we use it a lot. Like I like to blend it up, like in the blender or the food processor so it's smooth, and we mix it in with like spaghetti sauce with pasta, and it makes like a creamy sauce. It's so good and adds all that extra protein. So we use like bonza pasta, and then we'll blend I forget what the ratio is. It's something like a quarter cup or a half a cup to like a jar of sauce or something like that, but you look it up. But it's really good if you blend it smooth. You don't even know it's in there, and it changes the color a little, obviously, but it is like a creamy sauce. Oh, it's
I'm
so good.
mind blown.
Yes,
This
it
is
is so good.
genius. And yeah, for the tech, I bet it's creamier.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that.
A little bit extra protein.
Yeah.
Another one that we do, like, that's from, like, our, like, more my husband, but me too, our childhood, growing up in a very predominantly Italian area, lots of amazing Italian food where we're from, homemade, family recipe
Yum.
type shit, you know?
Yes.
If you it's the same idea, but with ricotta cheese. And so you get like the
Mm,
low fat ricotta, so it, calorie wise, it's not too bad, but it does still have a decent bit of protein anyway.
yeah.
But you do the same thing. Like we just like blob ricotta cheese into the sauce while it's cooking and just stir it, and it makes like a yummy, creamy
Yeah.
sauce. So
That would be
either way, it's
good.
good. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
try that. Yum.
You gotta try it. It's
Yum.
delicious.
Okay, so you know how so we have your shirt. You have a shirt that you're wearing with this time.
Yes.
Okay, I kind of have an idea actually because
Okay.
a quote that I come across that I'll say on each episode. I
Okay.
just
Yeah.
thought of this because recently one of my clients sent me a quote, and sometimes they're like really good, like cheesy ones, but
Hmm.
sometimes they're just like funny. And so I have
Yeah.
one that I wanted to say, and then I was like, ooh, maybe I should like find one for each episode.
Yeah. That'll be your
So
thing, like my shirt.
yes,
Totally.
yes.
Okay, so what is it today?
Okay, let me pull it up quick. You know the Itsy Bitsy Spider, like how that song goes?
Mhm.
Okay, here we go. Do you think the Itsy Bitsy Spider gave a fuck about the rain? No, it climbed that spout again. Lock in.
Hell yeah.
Like, I fucking love that.
Hell yeah. I love it.
So that's my quote
Good.
of the day.
All right. Well, my shirt of the day is I actually have a couple of shirts that have the same saying on it, but they're different shirts, but they didn't burn witches, they burned women. It's I told my husband, I'm like, it's one of my favorite things to do is to educate people on how the Salem witch trials were not witches at all. They were women that had property that they wanted. And it's one of my favorite things to educate people on this. Like people really love when I do that. And he's like, yeah, I'm sure they do.
Sure.
But like really, like I think it's a huge misconception because you hear like Salem witch trial, you just,
Yes.
assume like, oh, in the time they thought they were witches. No, no, these were widowed women who got their husband's property, and the only way that they can get their property from those women is for them to die. And so they needed their property, or they wanted their property. So patriarchy doesn't like it when women own property back in the day. Oh, I don't think they like it now, but they didn't like it back then either.
Yeah.
And so
I
yeah,
don't think
so
I
I was
realized
like,
that or knew that.
yeah, there's a lot. Like I actually enjoy reading about that a lot. Actually, it's
That would be
really
interesting. I think that would be something that I would like to like read about or listen
yeah.
to randomly.
Yeah, just looking into like when you look into who these women actually were and their background and like what they have in common is they were married, owned land, husbands died, land went to them, the city or the whoever didn't like that. And so they said they were witches to get rid of them. So the patriarchy being the patriarchy. So yeah, it comes down to again, they didn't burn witches, they burned women. And
Yeah.
so like in today's context, it's like careful. Like they can do some shit that,
Yeah.
you know, we
Mhm.
gotta watch.
I think the only other thing that I was gonna bring up, two things actually. So first of all, if you can't tell, I'm wearing makeup. I
I did. I was gonna say, I'm like, look at you
I
today. Hey.
never wear makeup.
It looks
Only
good.
thank you, thank you. Only special occasions, and last year I remember being like, you know what, I wanna maybe try and learn how to do my makeup. So, like, I did a little bit more than I did last year, but I recently did a photo shoot, and she did I came in and I was like, "I'm just gonna throw on some mascara and, like, a little bit of my, like, color corrector and call it good." But we were going through some of the photos, and I was like, I didn't like it, something wasn't right, and so she asked me if she could put makeup on me, so she did. And I was like, holy shit, this is a total game changer. And it
Yeah.
makes sense because, like, whenever I actually, like, dress up and do my makeup, and even, like, when I feel good about my outfit going to the gym, my workouts are better. Like, I feel better. I have more confidence. I have more energy. I'm getting more shit done in the day. And so this week, so this was like a week ago, and I was like, I'm gonna do my makeup to some capacity for a week and see what happens. And like,
Yeah.
it's been total 180 shift of my mood, and I got some like new things that I'm trying to like get like a feel for doing my makeup better and my style. But yeah, it's like it's totally a thing.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I remember you mentioned, I don't know, in some previous episode, you mentioned how like you want to as far as like style goes and whatever, you wanted to kind of like get
Yes.
get better about that. And I think that that is such a like common thing for people like people that spend a lot of time in a gym and whatever. Like I'm in gym clothes so much
Yeah.
that I rarely take the time to actually try to, look nice. And even when we go out, I'm like, oh, I'm fine. I'll just throw on a hoodie, but like I would really like to maybe not just live in hoodies.
Yeah. It's totally I'm telling you, it's totally
Yes.
different. And I came across I don't remember who said it or where I heard it, but they were talking about how it's called neuroaesthetics. Like, it's literally something in our brains where it like, so it makes sense. If you can think back to a time when you got yourself ready, went to the gym, went out for a date, whatever, you felt good, you looked good. When you're tanner,
Hmm.
like, you just have that more confidence. It's literally a thing, neuroaesthetics, like a brain chemistry thing that happens in our brain to make our mood better. So
Yeah.
there's that. But
That's
yeah.
very cool.
So
When I first started teaching a million years ago, the principal that I had at the time was pretty big on us dressing professionally. And a lot of people, there was some pushback on that, especially in an elementary school when you have the lower grade teachers that are like on the floor with the kids. And, there's just different things that, as far as professional dress, that need to be considered. But her whole thing was when you dress professionally, you act professionally, and that
yeah,
that was one of the things she used to always say. Yeah.
100%. It's so
Yep.
true. So true. So,
That's very cool.
and then the second thing was Stranger Things. Are you, dude? Have you?
Yes.
Ah,
Yes. We finished it. Yeah, we actually watched it New Year's Eve
yeah.
night. So we watched
So
the
did
the
we. So
Ohio
did we.
State game was on. The Ohio State game came on 30 minutes before Stranger Things was like came out, like, was released on Netflix. And so we were like, what do we do? And so like, well, we need to watch a game. So we watched the game and it didn't go well. And so thank God we had Stranger Things, because after everybody took a minute to decompress after the game, and like my son was just pissed and he went in his bedroom and like everybody needed a minute, then we're like, okay, Stranger Things, like that got our mind off of it.
Yes.
So then we watched, and we had to like pause it partway through because it was about to be midnight. So we like, it was about I think it was like the first hour, it's a 2-hour episode, right?
Mhm.
So like the first hour was just about over. And there was a good, I don't remember what part it was, but there was kind of a good, like, the scene was about to change type of thing. So I just
Yeah.
paused it, and it was about 11:45. So we could switch it to our local channel. And in Nashville, like, how New York has the ball drop, in Nashville we have a music note that drops.
Oh, nice.
And yeah,
I didn't know
so we
that.
switched it to the local channel so we could watch the music note drop. And they have a huge fireworks show. It's one of the biggest fireworks shows in the country on New Year's. And Nashville is one of the largest, obviously, aside from like Times Square, but it's one of the largest gatherings. I think I heard them say we had like 230,000 people or something
Oh,
downtown, and our
cool.
downtown is not big. Those roads are very narrow. It's
Yeah.
very small, but yeah, they shut everything down and it's complete chaos. They have concerts in multiple places all around downtown, like live shows, and it's very cool. We aren't going to go,
Yeah.
but it's very cool to watch it on TV, because they'll have like every one of the shows has, cameras. So they'll bounce around to the different shows and stuff.
Mhm.
And so anyway, so we switched it off at 11:45 and we watched the note drop. And then my son he's a runner. I've mentioned he runs cross country. He had this thing where he thought it would be really funny. The whole day on New Year's Day, everything was, I haven't done this since last year. And he kept making like every single thing he did. So he was like, it was about 11:55. He's like, I'm going to go run. And we're like, it's like 11:55 at night. You're going to go run. He's like, yeah, so I can record myself and I can make the joke that I've been running all year. So so
Oh my
that's what
God.
he did at midnight. He's out running. We have like a neighborhood it's like a cul-de-sac. So
Yeah.
there's not much traffic. It's like dead ends. So he was out running like through the cul-de-sacs next door. So he did that until after midnight. So he got to make his joke about how he's been running all year. And then he came home, and we always have sparkling juice. Like that's our thing, because we just don't drink that much.
Yeah.
And so with sparkling juice, we did our cheers, and then we're like, all right, are we ready for this? Like, sit down. And so then we put the second half of the episode back on. And I have mentioned this a million times. Like, I've never really been a crier, except since
Oh,
cancer. For some reason, I
yes,
cry about
yes.
everything. The second half of that episode, the last hour, I think I just cried the whole time.
Oh, dude, I cried the entire
so
time. The entire
many
time.
times.
Yeah.
It was insane.
I cried the entire time. Yeah. And
did you like it?
yes, yeah, just for anyone listening, we won't ruin anything if you haven't watched it
Yes.
yet. But
Yes.
I did like it. Like, I enjoyed it. I know there's so many, like, on TikTok, there's so many critiques and things. And like, I agree, like, there's some things I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I agree with how different things. But overall, I liked it. Did you see that it was possibly a fake ending?
Yes.
Dude.
Yes, we were following that actually for quite a while.
No
Like,
episode yet though, so I don't know.
no, and it would have been yesterday.
Yeah.
It was saying it was going to be on the 7th. We are, big. I say we because I lump my husband into this, but it's really me, and by like proxy him. We're big Taylor Swift people, and
Yes.
I actually with our new camera angle, you can see my Taylor Time magazine
Oh,
right
yeah.
behind me. I've got several Taylor things up on the wall, but she's real big on the Easter eggs and all of that. So when all of this stuff started coming out about maybe it being like a fake ending and another episode coming, it was totally, we were like, this is like Taylor Swift level shit. Like, it was so fun to like watch all the videos and hear all the theories.
It makes sense though. Like, a lot of things I'm like, holy shit. So I don't know if, yeah. There must not be, maybe there will,
I
I don't know.
I think it's not. I guess I think maybe on the 12th or something, Netflix said they were going to release a documentary. And so that won't be like cool. Another ending, but it'll be like the making of it, I guess. I'm pretty intrigued by that.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
I feel like I feel like any hope of another alternate ending is probably not going to happen at this point, especially with the documentary coming. So it's like, man, but I liked it. Like, I know, like you said, I saw a lot of people critiquing it and saying it was so bad and whatever. I didn't think it was bad. I really liked it. I felt like it left things in a good place for spinoffs. There is a spinoff coming.
I was gonna say, when I was watching, I was like, I wonder if there's gonna be spinoff.
Yeah, there is one, but what we read was it's not gonna use any of the current characters. Okay. It's like a different setting, different characters, but a similar maybe concept. I'm not quite sure. But it's gonna be all new. But I felt like it really left room for that door to be opened back up again.
For sure. And for interpretation of the viewer, so.
Yes. And I think that's important. Like, I think a lot of people can take what you want from it and believe what you want from it, because it did kind of leave it open-ended. And I think that was a lot of the critique, but I think that that's part of what I liked about it.
Yeah. Same. I agree. Yeah. So. Yeah. Yep. Anything else you needed to get off your chest?
No, not really. I don't think so. I just, right before we started recording, I found out that the meet that I'm competing in March is on a different day than what I thought it was on.
Oh, shit.
And all my travel plans, all my everything is for the other. So my brain is like very much like, I'm trying to not think about it right now and deal with it, because like everything, hotels are booked, days off, my husband's days, everything. And so so what happened was, first of all, this particular meet is a it's not like a sanctioned federation like I compete in USPA typically. This is like kind of those one-off type of things that they do just for the Arnold. So that it's not like it's run by people that are running that do lots of meets, you know what I mean? And so the communication isn't great. And even the registration. So when you register, like I didn't even get a confirmation that I registered. Like thankfully I have the PayPal receipt, you know, so I can prove
Yeah.
that I paid, but like I didn't even get a confirmation from them. So I need to find out how I registered, because in a normal meet, I would register in the open class, which is just all women. And I would also register as a master because of my age. And I don't know in this meet, because I can't go back and look at my registration because it's been months now. I don't know how I need to find out how I registered,
Yeah.
because the day that I thought I was competing, it literally says all women and men up to 198 pounds. And so I'm like, all women, I'm women. That's me. I am part of all women. And then I found out, like, we have a team chat on a Facebook Messenger thing for everybody on my team with my coach that's going to the Arnold. And some people were saying something about Masters is on Sunday, and all women said it was on Friday. And I was like, hold up, I was leaving Sunday according to all my travel plans. And they were like, no, it says Masters on Sunday. Like, I emailed and I verified with them. I'm like, but this says all women. Like, it literally says all women. So all means all, like words mean things. And
Of course.
so, so now I'm like, in my head, I'm just like, oh my God, I got to figure out what to do. I got to find out how I registered. If I registered
Yeah.
master, can they switch me to open so that I can just compete on Friday? And I mean, I'm not going to do very well because I'm going to be going against, you know, the 20-year-olds and the everybody's. Not that I would, you know, even necessarily do great against other people my age, but at least I'd have a chance, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got to figure out
Shit. Get on
what
that.
to do now. So
Yeah.
that's my brain at the moment.
Oh,
So I don't know if I got to
shit.
try and change all my travel plans. My husband's gonna have to change his days off. Like, I don't know. We'll find out. But that's where we are.
Oh,
Literally, like
man.
I texted my husband. I'm like, we have an Arnold problem. And he was like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I don't know. It was like 5 minutes before we scheduled to get on here and start
Oh,
recording. I was like, I'm about to record a
no.
pod. Like, I'll deal with it after. So that's like kind of what's rolling around in the back of my head right
Boy.
now. But we'll figure it out
Yeah.
one way or another.
You'll
We'll
get it.
figure it out.
Yep.
Yeah. So are we ready to do
Let's
this?
do it. What are we talking about
All
today?
right, we're talking about goals and goal setting, but we're talking about ourselves. Like, I think we had a couple of episodes previously, the two-parter that was talked about like how to set realistic goals and things like that. But for this one, we're talking about our 2026 goals and kind of how do we approach this, and you know, how do we look at things and hold ourselves accountable, I suppose, and stuff like that.
Yep.
So,
Okay. Should I go first, or do you
yeah.
want to go first?
Why don't you go for it?
Okay. So in my head, a voice in my head was like, "You guys need to set time limits to each of your fields." No, okay, it'll be okay. It'll be good. So I actually, um, in the past, setting goals, reflecting on the previous year, setting goals for the new year was all like hodgepodge. I wasn't about it. I was like against it, didn't like it. Like if everyone else, I was like, great, do it. Like I didn't have a problem. No judgments here, but for myself, I was like, it's just another day. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing and all of that. Well, my thoughts on that have changed because last year I did do this 2020 or okay, well it would have been 2024, but I did a year reflection, and I'm not gonna say everything that I wrote, but I just want to put out the key like questions so that way if you have yet to do yours or you decide to do it, it's not too late. It's January 8th, whatever. You can do it anytime. But I think I'm going to say these so that way if you want to go through it, you can. But I found that it just helps me really not just reflect on the year, but like think about all the cool stuff that I did, all the things that I struggled with, and then have intentions going into the new year for like what it is that I want to work on and focus on and kind of stay grounded in and things like that. So my reflection, I'll start with that for the previous year. So I come up with three words for 2025. Came up with those. And I'm gonna say these ones just because it'll make sense later on. So my first one was self-discovery, second one was alignment, and 3 was insecure. Second question, what lit you up the most in 2025? Third question, what drained me? Fourth, I look back into my calendar and do key moments. So in January, I write down any key moment, good, bad, positive, shitty, like anything that I felt like I was impacted in some capacity. And then after that, I go in and this, you don't have to do all of this. Pick and choose if you want. I put in a chapter name for each month. So like January was chapter 1, and I put in the beginning of CEOship. Chapter 2, February, pain. Right? So like it can be one word, a phrase, like whatever. Those are my chapters. And then I came up with a book title for 2025. After that, I write down who was I at the beginning of 2025? Who am I now? Most supportive habits and practices. What's still in the way of being my most embodied self? And then who am I becoming in 2026? And then I choose my words and then my book title for 2026. And
Ooh,
I
okay.
know, so I'll say those. And then I write a poem. And it's not really a poem, it's like I just write, really. So
Yeah.
if you don't mind, I will share that.
Yes,
Okay.
please do.
Okay. So my words for 2025 or 2026, I'm still kind of deciding. First one is patience, and then my second one is self-sufficiency or like independence, resourcefulness, just because I realized in 2025 I am very dependent on other people, on Kiana. I need to like figure things out for myself in some capacity with some things. And so I really want to become more self-sufficient, whether it's figuring out how to put something together or even like not asking for other people's opinions and approvals because I'm very swayed by other people's opinions. So I'm like trying to be confident in my own decision making, intuition, things like that. So my book title for 2026 is Integration. And then my subtitle, like a subtitle too, turning self-knowledge into purposeful choices and actions.
Okay.
So
I like it.
thank you. Thank you. All right, here we go. I'm going to read this poem. I will put it on social media. I just haven't yet. So it might change, or I don't know. We'll see if I post it before this comes out. Okay, 2025, you were undeniably the year of self-discovery. Self-discovery in business, in boundaries, in insecurities. Self-discovery in avoidance, anxiousness, and admittedly, the lack of self-confidence, independence, and self-sufficiency I hold. 2025, you were the year of laughter, the year of new beginnings, the year of almost full sobriety. You were the year of a little less adventuring and a lot more business building, the year of injury, and you were the year I stayed rooted in being brave and in being bold. Because those were my 2 words from last year.
Oh, okay.
2024 was the year of being a whirlwind. 2025 was the year of self-discovery. Only the stars know what 2026 will hold. As for now, I'm rerouting myself in patience, in independence, in self-sufficiency, in resourcefulness, and in stepping into this growth period, knowing it won't be easy. However, now turning that self-discovery into purposeful choices and actions and telling myself I can more than I can't. And with that, 2026, here we go. Here the fuck we go.
Hell yeah. Love
So that's
it.
that, yes. And then since I've never really set goals before for the new year, I didn't really know how to go about this. I did have a client who she kind of told me her process and what her and her husband do. And I was like, this is great because Kiana doesn't like doing that. She won't do it, but if I'm the one to initiate and talk about it, she knows it's important to me and that I want us to talk about some things together. So then there's a few things that we're going to talk about as like a couple, but my client broke it down in relationship, health and wellness, financial. I put on house, travel, and then like business and personal. And so I don't have specifics. Like, none of these are SMART goals. None of these are specific by any means, but I just kind of wrote down a list of what I want to be intentional about in the new year. And then as time goes on, like, start to kind of pick and choose what I want to tackle first. Like, one of them personally was getting better at makeup and finding my style. And I've already started to do that,
Look at
right?
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that specific goals, I don't really have anything even for business just yet, but it's really like, I kind of like to think big picture too of, okay, in this year, I have just opened up my new space. So my goal for my business now in marketing, social media, advertising, when I'm talking to people, is to just stick to one messaging and go with that. I'm going to stick to language that I use in my website and just stick to specific languages and things when it comes to that, when it comes to social media and all of that. So,
and that'll be for online, or you're still doing online clients, right?
yeah, I'm still doing online.
Okay.
I still do in home, but I'm not going to be advertising that as much just because I want to focus more on my suites that I have.
People coming to you.
Yes. Yeah. So that's my big goal for this year is like right now I'm working on getting people into the suite and getting online clients as well as they come. So,
Yep. All right, y'all heard it. If you're
mhm.
in Sioux Falls and you need a personal trainer, you know where to go.
Yeah, and the thing is too is like since it's not in a gym, you don't get the big gym crowd and
Yeah.
more privacy. And I have two options. So one option is a 60-minute workout versus option 2 is 30 minutes. I see a lot of people who they're like need to get in and out. So yeah, I that's kind of big picture thinking for my business. Other than that, that's pretty much all I got. Me and Kiana are gonna talk about like financial goals, baby goals, travel, like things like that.
Love
But
the
yeah,
baby goals.
yeah. So, and then as far as like my fitness, of course, it's always to get stronger. But I do know I tend to tell myself I can't a lot, which is why in my thing I put telling myself that I can more than I can't. And so I really want to push myself in the gym. I just want to eat a boatload of food and protein, and I want to get
Hell
more
yeah.
muscle. That's the thing. It's like I feel like, oh yeah, we were gonna talk about this. I think
We were.
I
Yep.
feel like
Yep.
I'm skinny, fat, muscly.
For what it's worth, that is not what I see at all.
Really? Okay.
So, I mean, yeah, no, like even there was a, what was it? One of the reels that we did. Oh, I think it's the one where we like lifted up our shirts and we were like showing our bellies and then we flexed or whatever. And I was like, damn,
Yeah.
she's just like, look at her, like she's jacked. Yeah. So I never once have I looked at videos or pictures of you and ever thought skinny fat, just
That's
for
good.
what it's worth. But I know that we are our own biggest critics,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, that doesn't necessarily change how you feel, but just so you know.
Yes. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I think that like I for sure I can tell I've built more muscle and actually lost body fat. And so you can like see the muscle more than a few years ago. However, I'm at a place now where I'm like, okay, I want to add more muscle. So, and it's just really continuation. I don't, like I said, no specific goals for fitness other than getting stronger, adding muscle. I'm continuing trying to meal prep and eat more protein and all of those things. So
Yeah.
that's actually pretty much it.
Okay.
I'll
Yeah,
be
look
curious
at
to
that.
see what you do though, because yeah, like I said, I've never done goal setting for the new year other than like writing big ideas down. So
Right.
yeah.
So do you have a plan or do you have anything where like all the stuff that you have written down, is there a place or something where you keep it visible so it's like a reminder? What do you
Oh,
do?
no, but I will. So I just have it on a piece of paper here. So
Okay.
like I still gotta fill in something, but I'll put it on. I'll probably either keep this one or I'll type it, and then I'm gonna put it on our fridge probably, or maybe our bathroom, just somewhere where we'll see it every day. And then everything else that I talked about, I keep in my office so that I know where it's at the end of the year. I can like breathe through it and all of that. But yeah, so I will definitely put it somewhere where we can see it.
Okay. All right. Well, I also I don't know that I necessarily have like the specific goals either. Like I don't there are a couple I guess maybe that are pretty specific, but overall, so like I've said a million times before, I always do a word of the year. And 2025, my word was peace, because going into 2025, it was like right in the middle of cancer treatment. And I just needed like, uh, how do I say it? Like, I needed all of the like chaos of the outside world to just turn off. Like, I needed to just focus on me and my keeping myself from stressing out too much. And then, my family, my husband, it affected him just as much, and we were trying very much to protect my son, just all of that. So, my word was peace, and that included just kind of tuning out a lot of things that didn't serve me, maybe not interacting with people as much that necessarily didn't serve me. And I don't even want to say didn't serve me, but I was just going through something that no one else could understand, and so sometimes when I would talk with people or things, I would just sort of find myself just kind of zoning out, because what I have in my head, like going through treatment and that kind of thing, it just made so many other things feel so unimportant. And it's not that it's not important to that person or to other people, it was just, I was just in a different place. And so I found myself very much pulling away from people quite a bit at the beginning of 2025. And that was much of it was by design. It's just what I needed. I spent a lot of time doing jigsaw puzzles. So many puzzles got done at the beginning of 2025. But I needed it. Like, that was a way that I was able to turn off my brain and focus on something else. I just had a light turn off over there. Sorry. I don't know if
Weird.
you could see it in the camera, but
I
it
think I
was
saw
on
it,
and then
yeah.
it just went off. But anyway, so I had to, well, as treatment ended, I got back into, I had to like really make an effort to make sure I was starting to interact with people more. Cause it's not that I didn't want to interact. It's not that I didn't care about, I just needed that alone time and that peace. So I tried to continue the peace thing as the year went on, but it's just not in my nature. Sometimes I think to choose peace, sometimes I can be kind of an aggressive, like, hell no kind of person. So anyway, 2026, I really thought about, all of that. I thought a lot of really where this came from was kind of the evolution of me over the course of 2025, because the person I am, I guess inside, if that makes sense, is not the same person I was the year prior. Like, cancer just very much changes how you see things, how you perceive things, what's important, what you prioritize. And it puts how do I describe it? It puts things into perspective of time. Time is not infinite. And, oh, I'm going to cry. Any moment could be our time to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Let it
So,
out.
uh, damn it. Why? See what I'm saying? I never used to be this person. But it's, facing your own mortality is pretty eye-opening. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It makes certain things feel more urgent. And so kind of going into 2026, damn it, stop it. I'm done. I'm not even talking about that anymore. Quit crying. Um,
It's okay.
but shit, I hate it though. But
You're like Kiana. She's
so
like, I don't remember what movie it's from. She does not like to cry, and then it's like, she's like, go back in, the tears.
stop it. Yes, no, I totally get that. So anyway, thinking about just kind of how me and my perspective and my priority, how all of that sort of evolved over the course of being right in the midst of treatment to treatment being done, but still being very affected by everything, to now I'm getting a little bit more distance out away from it. You just kind of flows a little bit differently. And so I I have two words this year, and I chose, my first word is intentional. And that kind of encompasses a lot of things. I think intentional in terms of making sure that I'm spending time with my family. Intentional also is coming in that regard. This year in 2026, my son in the fall will be a senior. And so there's very much, oh, cry again. There's a lot of like, I know that there's a lot of things I need to come to terms with as far as letting him go. You know what I mean? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
momming's hard, man.
Dad!
Damn. And we've been doing a lot of college visits and, just really thinking a lot about his future and what he's going to be doing. And he does a lot of things, like he does Model UN and Youth in Government, and he does a lot of these programs where he's gone for like whole weekends at a time and stuff, doing his stuff. And so there have been these times like we'll eat dinner and it'll just be my husband and I, and we'll make dinner and we'll sit down and we just kind of look at each other and we're like, this is we only have like a year. This is how it's going to be after that. It's like
Yeah.
it's exciting. I'm so happy for him. He's freaking brilliant. He's passionate. He's compassionate. He's just such an incredible human. And I'm super excited to see all the things that he does. And I know where his heart is. But at the same time, it's like, no, but stay here.
Yeah.
I want you here with me, So that's where intentional comes in part of that too. I want to make sure that I am not going to look back on anything 2, 5, 10 years from now and wish that I had, spent more time with him or done this with him, something
Yeah.
before he leaves for college. So, but intentional also is coming in business terms. I am also in 2025 is when I was diagnosed with ADHD and actually have been getting treated and medication and learning strategies that help support that. And I've noticed in implementing all of these things, when I look back, I've been a hot mess for a long time. And so now I feel like with intentional, I can actually be intentional with some of the things that I want to do because I feel like I have the strategies and my brain can now because I have medicine that I take that helps me do that. And I thought that I was doing it before, but I was I would half do things and very few things would actually get finished, or I would half-ass it just to get it done. And then so my brain could move on to something, but this year I want to make sure that like I'm taking my time to do things correctly and be very intentional about the steps that I'm taking to grow my business and things like that. And I'm going to get to some of that in a minute. But then my second word is unapologetic. And that kind of also came from, you touched on it a little bit. And we actually texted a little bit about it a week or two ago. There's a lot of, especially when you're a person who is online as much as we are, and markets online and posts content and things like that, there's a lot of comparison. There's a lot of what are
Oh
people going to
yeah.
think. There's a lot of imposter syndrome. And I have kind of come to the conclusion that I don't give a shit. And I think for years we always say, I don't care what other people think. But yeah, we do.
Yeah, we
Like,
do. Yes,
and the
I
reality
realized
is,
that. Self-discovery, I realized that last
uh-huh,
year. I would say, I don't care what people think of me. Yeah, I do. The amount of times I doubted myself or compared myself to other business owners, people with other bodies, and worried about kind of what people thought in my head. Yeah.
yes. Like if I post this, if I do this, are people gonna make fun of me? Are people gonna, roll their eye? Like,
Unfollow me or, yes.
yeah. And I have come to the conclusion that if they care and if it bothers them so much, then they aren't someone I would want in my world anyway, whether it's as a client, as a friend, as in anything. And I started working with a new marketing coach towards the end of 2025, like the last quarter. And so much of the things that I have learned from her has really opened my eyes to, okay, so if they unfollow me, then they unfollow me. Like they weren't ever going to hire me anyway if that little thing bothered them,
That's a
or,
good point.
you know,
Yeah.
and so like I've been trying to be a lot more vocal about my opinions on the state of the world and in attempting in a respectful way as much as I can, but partly it's to signal to the right people that I do want around me, that I do want to potentially hire me, that I do want to be as friends, that this is where I stand. If you're like on this same page, that's cool, let's hang out, like we would get along. And so things like I made a post not too long ago about the flag, that I have that rainbow
Yes, I
flag
saw that. I
in
love
my
that.
gym.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always purposefully at least once or twice, if not more, a week, will post videos where that flag is in the background behind me. And that really was not necessarily a political statement per se, but it was just a way to allow some people to know that this is where I am. This is a
Yeah.
safe place. I'm a safe person. And to let the other people know that you're probably not going to like it here.
Yes.
So just don't. You know what I mean? So I started, my therapist calls it, and this is probably just the term that it's called, but we were talking about it, and she said it's micro activism. She said, just like having that flag on the wall, even if you're not addressing
I like
it or
that.
anything, just having it being there, it's your form of micro activism. My shirts, micro activism. I don't have to necessarily talk about it. The shirt says where I stand with
Yeah.
things and what I believe, you know? So that falls into the unapologetic category too, where I'm not going to hide that I believe that all humans are humans and that we all deserve, you know, like I have one shirt that says I'm a big fan of human rights. Like we all should have human rights and we all, you know, so I I used to kind of shy away from it, and I used to kind of not want to make it too blatantly out there because I was afraid of trolls. It wasn't that I was embarrassed by it or anything. I just didn't want to deal with internet trolls. And that's part of what kind of some of the things I've learned through my marketing coach is, and if you get a troll, you get a troll. And so what I've started doing is every once in a while, depending on the comment, I just take the comment and I make more content out of it.
Yeah.
And that's when I made that flag video, because the one guy posted, he said, I can't take anything you say seriously with that flag on your wall. And I was like, oh, okay.
That was funny. That one that you post, I think it was that one. I laughed.
Yeah.
That one that you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he doesn't like my flag. I said, but here's the thing. Like, I purposely put this flag in the middle of my gym. It takes up like half my wall. It's huge. And I purposely record video in front of it, and I purposely whatever, because if you don't like it, then just leave now. Like, don't even follow my page, you know? So I've really been leaning into the unapologetic side, even as far as certain videos. Like there's the one, I think you texted me about this too. All it is just a video of me. I'm sitting on my bench. I was doing incline dumbbell bench press. And I said, the screen says like every Gen X woman knows that when the bridge to this song comes on, you stop what you're doing because you just have to rock out to the song. It's a Bon Jovi song. And I would have never posted that video 1, 2, 3 years ago, because I would have been afraid that people were judging me for like, you know, singing along to the song and just like rocking out to the song and then doing my thing. It's dumb. There's no reason why anyone would. And if they did, then whatever, that's on them. Like, oh, if they think it's cringy or whatever, well, that's okay. You didn't post it. Don't worry about it. And so I've just really been trying hard to just be more me, you know, let what makes me different and me, it makes me, I guess, like go put that on the internet, because in the world of AI, we need more authenticity, you know?
Yes.
So those are my 2 words, and they kind of go together in certain ways, but intentional and unapologetic. And what I do with them is,
hold on, there's a quote I want to say really fast. Another
oh, yeah.
quote. So I think actually I mentioned this one in one of our episodes. I can't remember. It's on my fridge. I've had it on a sticky note for at least 3-4 years now. And I don't remember if this is exactly how it goes, but it's something like when you're attracting the wrong ones to you, you're keeping the right ones from you, or something like that. Like the more that you're attracting the wrong people, the more that you're keeping the right people like away from you. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that just reminded me of that, and I try and remember that too.
Absolutely. You know, one of the things that was said with my marketing coach we have a Facebook group, and in the group, I had expressed how I was concerned about the trolls and things like that. And another person, it wasn't even like one of the coaches, it was someone like another member like me, another business owner. She like wrote this paragraph, and by the time I was done reading it, I literally wrote, like, I feel like I just went to therapy. But she basically boiled down what she said was, though, if those people weren't going to hire you anyway, so who cares what they think? It's engagement. Anytime people comment, it's engagement, and it helps the post, it helps the algorithm. But aside from all of that, it is, if you don't, like, people are looking for other women in fitness that have this particular set of beliefs, and people want that. And if they don't see that you are that, they're going to go find someone else who is that.
Yeah.
And so she's like, how much is it, how did she say it? Something about like, is it helping or harming your business by not putting this out there and not being true to you? And she said, you're not reaching the people you want to reach because you're afraid. And I was like, oh,
Oh,
damn.
damn. Yes.
Don't attack me like that,
Yeah.
And she said, there's people out there that are looking for you and they can't find you because you're afraid. And I'm
Oh,
like,
snap. I need to remember that. And also, this reminds me of like, I always try and think about, okay, if I'm thinking this way, I have this mindset, I have this belief,
mhm,
there has to be at least one
yes,
other person that either needs to hear that or thinks the same
yeah,
thing and it's validating, or again, they're searching for that type of person, like at least one
yeah,
person in this entire universe, you know?
yep.
So I try and remember that.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that one paragraph, I should actually go back and find that post and screenshot everything she said because
Yeah, send it to me.
it was so impactful. It hit me so deep and I'm like, you are freaking right. And that's the moment that I switched and I started posting a lot more stuff and honestly it has paid off
Oh,
in
yeah,
a big way.
yeah.
Mhm.
I'll, like,
Yeah.
sometimes because I can see when I see your post, I've been checking back because, like, I've noticed a correlation and the difference in how you post and in what you're posting, like, the
Mhm.
confidence, the different types of things and stuff, and
Yeah.
you're I know followers aren't everything, but, like, you have grown in that capacity because
Yeah.
of you making that shift, and
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, now, like, I feel like I'm stepping into, like, trying to find that as
Yeah.
well, but yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's made such a huge difference. And it's people that meet that
Yeah.
criteria, if that's what you want to call it, of the people that I do want around me and in my space and in my world.
Mhm.
And yeah, there was a point there, I want to say it was like, actually, we might be right at the end of it, the last 30 days. I think today, maybe yesterday was kind of the end of the 30 days, but there was a 30-day window there where I had 1,200 followers.
Holy fuck, what?
Yeah. Yeah, and for context, for people that don't know, there would be weeks where I would get 1 or 2 followers in the whole week,
Yeah,
if any,
I'm
if
always
any.
losing followers.
Yeah, and so to get 1,200 in 30 days, absolutely bonkers. And it was partly posting more about that kind of stuff because I did get quite a few like-minded people that followed from those things. But also, I posted a couple of carousels about, well, like the one we talked about, the push-up one,
Yes.
where it's like age-based comparisons based on data. And I did one on bench press about like how difficult is it actually to bench press your own body weight for women, and it's actually pretty freaking hard. And then I did another one on squats, like barbell back squat. Yeah, those, they just blew up.
Remember
And
when you said carousels don't do anything for you?
yes, I sure did. But I've been hearing a lot lately. I don't know if you follow a lot of like marketing coaches and things online, but a lot of them lately have been saying those carousels. And for y'all that don't know, carousels are like the swipe posts, like the ones where you swipe through, that Instagram is pushing those a lot more now. So they were like, do not sleep on carousels.
Oh,
Instagram's really pushing them. That's
no.
why actually for the last episode, I made that carousel where like it went through all the
Yeah,
basics of the things we talked about in that last episode about budget friendly meals, because I'm like, hey, carousels seem to be doing pretty good. Let's throw a carousel up on the pod page and see what happens.
like,
But
myself, I'm always looking at those.
yeah. Yeah, and I was hoping that push-up one would pop off too. It got more than an average post, I would say, but not like the bench press one. It went like, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of views, and it was just
Crazy.
like 1,000 shares, and I can't. It just was crazy. So it's like it's definitely paid off. And so what I do with my words, I do two things. One of them is I always make a vision board, and so this is my vision board. I just do it in Canva. So I have my words right in the middle. So I have intentional and, what does it say? Intentional and unapologetic right in the center. And then I just have lots of other things. Like some of them are pretty obvious and some of them aren't. But like the 30 is and this is where like my goals maybe got a little more specific, is I would like to get 30 people through my online program this year.
Oh, nice.
For my online coaching. I created a 16-week program kind of a while ago, maybe the end of the summer. And like I've talked about it and I've kind of promoted it, but I haven't really pushed it too hard. But I want to be more intentional this year about promoting it and pushing it. And so my goal is to try and get 30 people through, or at least into it, by the end of the year. And then I have some specifics as far as my lifts. These are really big reaches. These are actually the exact same weights I had in 2024. But my squat, I'd love a 300-pound squat, but at the rate we're going right now, y'all, that ain't gonna happen. Bench 150 and deadlift 330. We'll see. Well, that's gonna be a real reach, but they're there. They're, it's there. We'll see. Yep. And then I also have the quote right here. It says, to be able to run fast enough to pet all the dogs, I need to improve my cardio. So that is one of my goals, is a little more cardio based. Maybe not necessarily running, because I've tried that and I don't enjoy it. I used to be a runner before I was a lifter, but I just want to just in general get better at my cardio fitness, whatever it might be, whether it's, rowing machine or running. I walk a lot, but that doesn't necessarily raise the heart rate, so it's not really cardio, But a lot of these goals also are very like social justice related. Like this one up here, it's a Martin Luther King quote. It says, in the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. And that's sort of the quote that I use to remind myself that staying quiet is only helping it furthers the problem.
Yeah.
One of the words that phrases I say to my husband all the time when I get frustrated about things is silence is compliance. So if we are staying quiet in times where we feel like injustices are happening, we are being compliant to those injustices if we're not doing anything about it. And so that Martin Luther King quote kind of reminds me a lot that I have to speak up. I have to speak up for the sake of my friends. I have to speak up for the sake of my son's future, other women, depending on what the topic may be. So that's that. And then I have also the little fist down there, the power fist. I have women supporting women. And then I have on here with one of my beach pictures, it just says breathe, because that's a thing. Have I ever, looking at the wrong hand, I don't know where my own tattoos are, but I have a tattoo. It's kind of,
I've never seen that.
It's just waves. So they're just waves, and then it says breathe underneath it. I got that actually on one of my trips. I didn't this year because of medical bills, but prior to this year, I would take a trip all by myself every year to the beach, and I would be there for 3 days alone. And that was a time where I would just decompress, and I would kind of reflect on some of my goals and are the choices that I'm making pushing me closer to whatever the goals might be. And so it also would really help nervous system, so I would go and in fact, I remember I went to Clearwater Beach 2 years ago, I guess, maybe. And I was messaging you on Instagram when I was there because you were posting stuff about meditation.
Yes, I remember that.
And do you remember that?
Yeah.
And I was at Clearwater, and I have some video of me. I just set up the camera because I love waking up to the sunrise at the beach. It is one of my favorite things to do. It's so peaceful and it's so quiet and it's so calming. And so I got up at sunrise and I went down and I sat on these rocks and stuff at the end. And I'm like, okay, Sophia said that I got to do this, and I'm going to sit and so then we were messaging about meditation. And I was telling you how I struggle with it because I just can't sit still. Well, now I know, ADHD. And I remember telling you that I try to time my breathing with the waves, just in and out. And you were like, well, that's a form of meditation too.
Yes.
And so that's something I like to do that. And so that's what my tattoo is. So when I'm landlocked here in Nashville and I'm not around anywhere that has waves, you can kind of catch me sometimes if I'm feeling keyed up. I'll just start rubbing my thumb. I'll start rubbing it over and I'm like, just breathe. It's okay, breathe. So I have that on my down at the bottom of my vision board with one of my beach pictures, and it just says breathe on it.
Have you ever tried to imagine the sound of the waves? Mm-hmm. Close your eyes and hear it. And
yes.
Yeah. I like doing those waterfalls.
I take a lot of video while I'm there of literally just set my camera up and just sit there, so then I can go back and re-listen to some of my videos and stuff sometimes too. Yeah. So anywho, that's, there's some other stuff on here. Like I got like the podcast microphone on there too for us. And, there's a few other things on here too, but that's pretty much it. And then the second thing I do with my words is I get bracelets made with my words every year.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
this year's, I was hoping it would be, and I ordered it like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, and it's still not in. It's shipped, but it's just not here yet. So I got some of my other ones that I've done over the years. So it's going to be hard to see, but like the words are like,
Oh, yep.
you can see it in there. So this one was purpose and direction, which I think that's from a John F. Kennedy quote. There was something he said, and he said, we will do it with purpose and direction. And it just struck me that year. And I'm like, ooh, like purpose and direction. Yes, that's it. That was, I forget what year. And then this one just says courage. It's going to be tough to, this one's really, oh, maybe you can
Oh,
see
yeah, I
it.
can see that.
Yeah, it just says courage. And then I have this one, different style. I try to get like kind of different styles
That's
every
cool.
year.
That's a good
But
idea.
this is my get uncomfortable one. Here's peace. This one was for this year. But so I have these, and I just keep accumulating them. And so if you ever see like videos, or not video or my videos, but pictures of me when I'm out, like not in gym clothes, if you notice, I have tons of bracelets on my wrist, and it's all these bracelets
That
that
is
I get
such a
made
cool
over
idea.
the
I
year.
love
And so
that.
it's just kind of always sort of coming back. Like I'm always, every time I get ready to go out or whatever, I'm seeing it. So I'm always like thinking about those words and reflecting on the words. And I hang my vision board up. I laminate it because I'm teacher life. But I didn't want to laminate it now because I was afraid it would like reflect light weirdly if I showed it in the camera, but I'll laminate it and I will hang it. So it's just always in my business, always in my face. And I can make sure that every decision I make, is this intentional? Am I being unapologetic? You know, just to kind of help push things along. And we have business wise, I mentioned the online program, and then I have my in-person clients too. And then one thing we're about to put out is two things I've had for a while. I've had a subscription plan, like just a real it's just $12.99 a month, and it's just like workouts in an app that update every so many weeks and whatnot. Well, I've been in the process of moving to a new app, and I just last night, actually, I finally finished building it because I try to build it out for at least 2 years, and I just finished building it all out for 2
Holy
years.
shit.
I know, I know. And so I'm going to start promoting that more now that I have it in the app. And because I stopped even talking about it because I didn't want to put people into the old app because I was just going to have to switch them. So, and then the other thing is my husband and I have been working on workouts, like just PDF workouts that people just go on the website and buy and download the PDF. So we've been working on that. We have it's like each one is 6 weeks. It's a 3-phase thing. So like an 18-week program. And I'm going to put it up there for like, just you can buy it 6 weeks at a time, or you can buy all 18 at once, however you want. And then hopefully, my hope is that when people do those and kind of see how they work or whatever, then they might be interested in getting the subscription plan so that they can then keep getting these workouts every 6 weeks and have a place to log them and track their progress and that
Nice.
kind of thing. So that's, as far as our intentional goes, that's what we've been really, really focusing hard on the last few weeks, is trying to get that up and going. And
Nice.
yeah, so that's where we are business wise. And yeah, I don't think there's anything else on here that is necessarily pertinent. And it's always on, you can tell, like the paper, it's like the beach, like everything comes
Oh,
back to the beach
yeah.
for me. Like it's everything's, I mean, literally even everything behind me is all beach stuff. Like that's
That's
just
funny.
what.
We're opposite. Like, I'm mountain
Yeah,
for sure. Well, like, I like the beach too, but like mountains, waterfalls, things like that.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's it. And as far as, like, I'd asked you, like, is there a place where you keep it, where you see it? And so like I have my bracelets, I hang it on the wall, because for me, as far as like accountability goes, that's sort of how I'm constantly checking in with myself, as I see these, and I just always have this reminder, so that when I make decisions, I can always remind myself, okay, hold on. Does this match the mission that we have in mind
Yeah.
this year or right now? So I don't really know, as far as, except for like the 30 people in the online program and my specific lift numbers, I don't really have anything else that's specific. Like you said, it's more just focusing on the small steps that ultimately add up. to the big stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have a friend here locally that is also a trainer, and she and I have decided that we're going to meet the last week of every month and we're going to check in with each other. And so we already met at the end of December. And so we have a plan for January. So we're going to meet at the end of January and kind of check in, like, did you do all the things you said you were going to do this month? And I have a chart even. So
Oh,
I actually put this
dang.
in. So you know what I did is I went into ChatGPT and I told ChatGPT, these are the things that I want to do every week in 2026. These are things I want to do every month. I need you to create a chart, like a to-do list that I can check off. That's going to work for me. And so she totally made this. Like, I did not make this. My ChatGPT made this, but it's just like it just has each week on the side here. And so it's the week of January 5th through 11th, every week. So this is January, this is February.
Dang.
And then each thing I want to do each week, like as far as, making sure that I'm posting sales posts, because that's been a thing is, of course, I'm not really selling a lot of things because I never actually sell things. I don't,
Yeah.
like I have to get better about saying, hey, I have this program that if you're interested, come join this program. And so I am like, I need reminders to make sure that I'm posting these things. And I've been tracking my Instagram stats and, things like that I want to make sure that I'm intentional about this year. And so I was like, okay, I need to make a chart. And so I have this just sitting at my desk now. So it's like, now that it's Thursday today, I'm going to be looking like, all right, the week's almost over. What have I not followed through on yet? And then I actually was going to do one for the podcast too,
That's a good
with
idea.
like the social media, like making sure that I have the social
Can you
stuff,
link
making
that?
sure.
Can you do a what's it called? Like a blank, like a copy of it, so anyone that
Um,
wants to use it.
I
Or
can.
is it
So, I mean, it has my specific, like, like it specifically says, like, send a business email, check
okay,
your
so it's very
Instagram
specific to,
statistics.
like,
Yeah, it's
your
specific to
okay,
what I
yeah.
did. But like, all I did is just went into ChatGPT and I said, okay, every week for this year, I need you to make a chart. I want it to start with the week of January 5th, and I want it for every week of the month of the year. And I want every week I want to do this, and I just listed out the things I want to do every week. And I said every month I want to do XYZ. So for the monthly, I want to write one blog post on my website every month, and I update my Instagram statistics at the end of each month so I can keep track of how that's going. So then that's all I said. So I'm like,
Yeah.
every month I want to do this stuff. Every week I want to do this stuff. Create a chart where I can check them off, and so that I know that these things were done every month. And she just made it.
Nice.
Like, yeah, that's all I said. So like, if you have, so I was going to do, like I said, one specific for a podcast about like,
That would be
social
awesome.
media stuff, because we have like other things that you and I've talked about. We should probably mention that we have a merch store now.
Yes, we do. We
And
haven't even, like,
we
launched or talked
do.
about it or anything.
No, but and that was a part of our things for 2026 was to get some of that stuff going. So like, just making sure that I have all of these things in a clear place where I can see that progress is being made on them. Otherwise, I'm just going to forget about it. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, and I liked how
So,
you said you were talking about how you and another person are gonna meet, like, at the end of every month. That
mhm,
reminded me that I actually have someone, so if you're listening and there's anyone that you can have accountability to with anything, like, it doesn't have to be everything, but maybe one or two things, because one of my goals for 2026 is to do my women's health checkup with an OB, start that I mean, that's, like,
yes.
kinda step 1 before doing baby things anyway, and I've been needing to do that, and I was talking with a friend, and I'm holding her accountable to something with her health and fitness, and she's doing the same for me. So at the end of January, I have to have it scheduled. Like, it doesn't have to be for January, but it has to be. I have to, like, get something scheduled for
Hmm.
at some time in the year. And so I haven't done it yet, but I'm gonna get it done. And the only reason I'm probably gonna get it done is because she's following through on her end, and it's like, fuck, I gotta
Hmm.
do it too, So,
Yeah.
so that really helps. And then I think too, like, I know some people, I think, don't like the vision board type of thing or
Hmm.
having like words for the year, whatever. But what I really like is that it's top of mind. Like, if you're
Hmm.
driving and you see all those billboards, people do that because then you're top of mind. You're seeing it
Yeah.
constantly. And same thing with a vision board. And I mean, now there's like, you can go find research on how
Hmm.
beneficial it is and how it works when it comes to seeing visual things and like your goals and everything. Of course, you have to take action behind it, but if you're
Hmm.
seeing it all the time and it's top of mind, you're just reminded about it and you're gonna work towards it. And then you can also figure out like a system for it. So like how you're going to make that happen, you know?
Yep. Yep, exactly. Yeah, and I really like just exactly like having it where I can see it all the time because so it's we're humans. You're gonna get off track a little bit. You might stray
Yeah.
from whatever the original plan was, but being seeing this consistently helps pull you back. It helps bring us back to our original goal, whatever
Yeah.
that might be. And having another person, like I mentioned in the breast cancer episode, the whole reason I got my first mammogram is because I made a very similar
Yeah.
deal with one of my clients where she also needed to get hers scheduled. So we're like, okay, we're going to just bug each other every day until we both get this thing
Yep.
scheduled. And that's how I ended up finding cancer. So like having another person to help with that is just huge. And
Yeah.
for a lot of us, I think women in general, but I know you and I are very much like this. We're people pleasers. So
But
to
also I'm working
have
on.
I know. And I told my friend, it's my friend Daly. I told her that's who I'm meeting with every month. And I told her, I said, I am a people pleaser. So if I know that I need to show up and tell you what I did or didn't do, I'm going to do the things because I don't want to disappoint you.
Yeah.
So, it's, having know yourself well enough to know what is going to, keep you accountable and keep you doing the things. So, yeah,
Yep. I agree. Yep.
that's pretty much it.
Yeah. I think that's, and I think, like I said in the beginning, if you haven't done these things yet, like just there's no time like now. And even if you
Mhm.
spread it out, like if for me, I did it, I had a set day where I didn't have really any clients. I was like, okay, I'm going to do my reflection thing, write my poem. But then I've taken a few days to like also think about like what it is that I want to work on or accomplish, or
Mhm.
like the small things like the makeup, or there's a piercing that I want to get. So maybe it's, something like that. Yeah. And it's up here. So you'll be able to see whenever I get
Ooh,
that. But
okay.
yeah,
It's up here.
I just want to clarify that. It's up, it's neck up,
Nothing down there.
nothing below the neck. Okay. But yeah. And I don't know. I don't remember where I was going with that. But yeah.
Um,
Oh,
you
yeah.
were just saying how like to spread it out.
Yes, yes, yes. Spread it out. You can always add to it. Like, and have you
Mhm.
heard of, there's one of my clients showed me this and I want to get it. It's called the Big Ass Calendar. That's like what it's called. And it's a
No.
calendar that's the entire year laid out, which
Oh.
I like. It's not really like you can't write a bunch on it, but the boxes are big for each day. So it's like you can see the whole year. Maybe you put in like trips you're going on or like birthdays
Mm.
or like whatever. So just kind of cool if anyone is looking for, if you like calendars and whiteboards like I do, big ass calendar. It's like it's like dry erase, I think maybe, but yeah. So
Okay.
that's something now
That's
I think
pretty
I'm gonna
cool.
try and get. But
I have, even though everything I do is electronic, like I live and die by my Google Calendar, but I do still buy a wall calendar every year that's right over off to the side here that I hardly, honestly, I really don't even use it, but I get the same one every year. And what it is this stems from my teacher days, but I just love it. It's a calendar. It's a, every day is a holiday calendar. And so like, for
oh
example,
yes,
today is January 8th that we're recording this, and today is bubble bath day. So if you
oh
needed
my
an
gosh, I
excuse to
love
take a
that.
bubble bath, today is the day.
That's
And
super
when
cool.
this episode comes out will be January 13th. That is sticker day. So if you like stickers,
Day.
that's your day. Yeah.
Dude, that's pretty
So
solid calendar.
yeah, it's just fun. I like it, but also like sometimes it helps with posts and things. Like I'll make posts like in our Facebook group or even like in my client membership group, and it'll just maybe have to do with like whatever, today's national blah blah blah
Oh my
day,
gosh, I
and
love that.
it just makes it fun.
I love
Yeah. So
that.
even though I don't do anything with it except hang it over here, I
It's
like to buy
fun.
it
It's
every year because
different.
it's
It's
fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's fun.
yeah. So,
So
another
yeah.
plug that I totally forgot about. So with my new in-person, the suite that I have for my in-person
Mm-hmm.
training, if anyone is listening and you're in Sioux Falls and you're curious, I am doing it's like an introductory session. So if
Ooh.
someone, you don't know if you want to commit, you want to get a feel for my training style, my approach, you want to talk through some things, you can do 60 minutes for $35. And so
Ooh.
then it's just a way to kind of get to know me if you would like. And I have a website now, which is pretty cool because I never had a website
Oh,
before.
that reminds me of something I needed to share too.
Oh,
But yeah,
perfect.
tell us about your website. Oh, I'm glad you said that.
Yes. So it's called sophiadonwellness.com. And actually, it's really nice because if anyone is like, how much do you charge? What are your options? Boom, Sophia Dunn Wellness. I'm transparent. I have my prices. I have the options. I have that $35 session sign up. I made the whole like flow of like you can sign up right on the website. You'll get a message. You'll get next steps. All of those things. So whether you do online or you come in person, you can go ahead and choose whatever you want. And then of course you can always message me if you have questions and contact me from there. But yeah. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Yay. Love to see it. I forgot. And this was actually one of the things I wanted to lead with. But again, this is part of being intentional this year. So I don't know how many of our listeners are just kind of new to me or have been around me for a while. But previously, my Instagram name was Math and Macros because I
Oh
was a math
yeah.
teacher and I taught with macros and whatever. And I changed it last summer to Chris Petroni Fit, just because I haven't been a teacher now in almost 5 years. And honestly, people do not respond well to the word math. People are like, I hate math. I'm like,
Yeah,
great. Well, that's literally my name. But my business even is Math and Macros Personal Training. Like that's how my LLC is listed and all of that. And just last week, I went in and filed a it's what is it called? Not an alias, but most states call it doing business as. It's a DBA,
yes.
doing business as. That's not what Tennessee calls it because Tennessee. But basically, that I went and filed it, and so now my at least client-facing name of my business is now Chris Petroni Fitness.
Woo!
No more Math and
Nice!
Macros.
I like
Yay!
it. Yay!
So I'm excited. It felt like a whole fresh start. I had a big flag on my wall with my logo, my old logo, now not anymore. My old logo with my business name and whatnot. And like my husband has a video of me like taking the flag down. I was like, oh, it just feels like
Oh my gosh,
like
nice.
2026 just feels like a fresh start.
Yeah.
And my website used to be at not at because that's Instagram. My website was mathandmacros.com. I do still have that, but now it redirects to my new website, which is chrispfit.com. I couldn't do Petroni. No one's going to spell Petroni right. Nobody
Yeah, it's
ever
kind of
does.
tough.
And the reason it's Kristin, not Kristin, is because people don't spell Kristin right either.
Oh,
They always spell
good.
it with an E or even a Y, or they spell, I don't know, all different ways. So I tried to keep it as simple as I could, just crispy. And that's kind of a running joke with my clients because crispy, like we are like crispy bacon. And like I have like an affiliate code for some companies and things, and my affiliate code is always crispy, so it's always like crispy. And so it's just kind of, but it's easy to remember because it's like crispy, but it's KRISP.
Yes.
And then fit.com. So yeah, I've been working on updating everything with my new logo and my new business name. So
New
officially
logo?
because the old one had like the M, it had
Yeah,
and then M in
true,
it for Math
yes.
and Macros.
Yes.
So it's nothing fancy. I literally just made it in Canva really quick. It's just like, it just says KP Fit and it has like a person squatting. That's all it is.
Oh, no.
So it's nothing fancy, but it's just, something. My colors are all still the same because I love my colors. But yeah, so big change. Like 2026 just really feels kind of like a clean slate to me.
It does, yeah.
I feel like I'm figuring out a lot of things. I'm discovering a lot of things. I'm learning a lot of things about myself and how I can make myself more successful. And it just feels, I don't always feel like this at the beginning of the year, but beginning of this year, things just feel like they're going in the right direction. And
Yay.
for me personally, like not so much of the world, but
Yeah.
with me personally, I just feel like, I feel good about the way where things are going, and I feel good about
Awesome.
what's to come. So
I feel like for me, I wrote this in one of my, who am I, it's the question, who am I becoming in 2026? And somewhere in there, I wrote how I feel like this is a huge growth period for me. Like, I don't know if you've heard, I don't know if it's a saying or what, but it's like every 10 years you go through this like growth period. And I feel like I am in it right now, especially from all the things I learned about myself in 2025 that I don't necessarily like and I want to change and grow from. And now it's like implementing, and it's going to be tough, but it's this growth period that I just feel it. So I feel like with every year it's going to be different. Whoever's listening, maybe it's just another day. It's nothing, maybe it is a growth period for you. Maybe it's a shitty time. I don't know, whatever it is. But yeah, I feel like for me it's like a huge growth period, beginning / has already started.
Yeah. It's exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting. I am very hopeful for this year.
Yes.
So
Me too. We should
yeah.
whatever posts we put out for this episode, one of them should be our words, and then we can have people comment their words
Yes.
as
I
well
would
if they want.
love to hear everybody's words and kind of intentions behind them. That's so fun. And I love to hear it because it helps give me ideas too.
Yeah.
Like next year, I'm like, oh, that was a great one. Like maybe I
Yes.
need to think about that one. And and it's okay if they change, and it's okay if
Totally.
you update them or add more.
Yeah.
Maybe one of y'all might post something that I'm like, oh shit, I want that too, and I'm gonna add that to mine.
Yes. Yes, for
So
sure.
yeah, very cool. Yeah, we'll definitely make a post about inviting people to share the words.
Yes.
And you can find us on all the socials at ubobpod, or you can email us. And I actually did check our
I
email
don't. So that's
this past
you
week.
do.
I did. There was a lot of junk mail in there. I
That's
deleted
okay.
I deleted a lot of stuff out of there. There's people reaching out to us about random, I can help your pocket. I'm sure you can.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye. But it's our email is ubobpod@gmail.com. And like I said, I actually checked it the other day. And so I will keep checking it.
Yeah.
I can't. I needed to check it because of the merch store. That's what it was.
Should
I
we
needed to
talk
get on
about
there.
that?
So yeah, we can. I need to put the link up. So the link
Okay.
for the merch store is, or the site for the merch store. Hold on, it says it's loading. Oh no, I have to log. Oh wait, is this it? It's so it's off of the site Printify, and it's ubob-podcast.printify.me. What I think I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna make us a link tree
Oh, perfect.
specifically for the podcast, so we can link Apple, Spotify,
Yes.
YouTube. We can link the merch store, so everything will be in there. So that is on my to-do list, so we can get that link up onto all the socials, and so then everyone can access everything. But the merch store has t-shirts, it has hoodies, it has some stickers, and there's more stickers I need to get in there yet. We've got ball caps, we've got beanies. Yeah, I think we have crew neck sweatshirts as well as hoodie sweatshirts. Yeah, and I have everything in there, especially not, I don't know if for is the word necessarily, but in Kiana's honor, I made sure that I put everything up there in both block type font and the script font.
Perfect.
So because I knew that was some feedback, so we got that. So everything, so you can get all of the stuff in. It has our what we call that, like our motto or our slogan, empowering women to live for more than a before and after photo. Yeah. That's what's on the back of all the shirts. And it's in 2 different fonts. So make sure you're paying attention to which one you're looking at to make sure that you get the font that you like.
And I think we should clarify that our goal with this is not to make money or roll in the dough or steal your money, like whatever.
Yes.
We want to just spread the word. We want some walking advertisements. Okay, so
yeah,
so it's
exactly.
I think we put it at a price where it is
yeah,
experiment. Like we don't really get anything for it.
No, not much at all. In fact, the website, like Printify website, was like, your price is risky. It said it was. I'm like, risky? What's risky? And apparently, there are things that I needed to read and learn more. And I learned that depending on where our products are coming from, if they are not United States based companies or coming from the United States, then we might end up having to pay like customs fees and all this other kind of stuff on them. And so I was like, so I went through and made sure all of our stuff is coming from US based place. And because of how Printify works, each item is going to have its own shipping cost. We don't get to set the shipping. It is just whatever the company who's making it, it's their shipping cost, not ours. But if you order between now and I think at the moment it goes until January 21st or 22nd, but we might be able to extend that just because we're just announcing it. But if every item will get $2 off of shipping just to kind of get things rolling and get things started.
Oh,
so yeah. That's that.
Yay.
So we would love for y'all to start repping some UBOB stuff. And if you have any requests for items, if there's things that you would like to have that aren't in there, please let me know, because there's a huge, like an insane amount of things that I could create. I just don't know, I don't want it to make it overwhelming for one thing, but I just don't know really what people want. I feel like most people, hats, shirts, stickers, like that pretty much covers most people, I think. But there's even like shaker bottles and like cups, like a coffee thing, you know, things like that if we wanted. I don't know if people would want that or not, but let us know.
Yeah, yes. I'll put the link in the show notes so that way, and I'm sure we'll have that link tree made soon. It'll be in our social media stuff, but
yeah.
Awesome. All right.
Very cool. That's it. So happy 2026 again.
2026.
Everybody.
Try it next time.
See you in a couple weeks.
Bye for now.
Bye.